Hi everyone. I decided to record a video instead of going live today because sometimes when you're working in your craft room you just need some quiet, and that's where I was today. I am just doing a progress update on the journal that I'm working on for myself. I have I have 6 signatures for it. And they're not in any particular order right now. They're kind of a mess. I don't plan on really putting them in any order. I don't have anything organized a certain way. So I figured I would just flip through it and let you know where I'm at. Look at the tips of my fingers are nice and black from I was trying to figure out one of these types of stamps, and I decided to grab it by the ink pad, so it was exciting. This is the first signature I've got. This here is an envelope that I decided to turn into a tuck. I put magazine quotes on it, and this is also a little tuck spot on the bottom. The second page, there's the rest. Oop, I'm out of frame here. Here is the rest of that envelope. I included a small little tuck space down there. This is an envelope that you will see the other side of. Composition paper. Hand-dyed paper, corner tuck, flips up into a little space there. This was an image that was on the page. These pages that I gessoed are original pages to the book. Live the life you love, another quote at the bottom. I learned that my pens do write on gesso, so some of these, like this one, I might just leave like that. And just write on it as it is and see how it goes, I put a lot of greeting cards in here to give me some added space. So this is a greeting card that I got a long time ago, and it's got all incense sticks, but it's also a tuck spot. More composition paper. I didn't do anything to the composition paper. That's just straight writing space. This is a junk envelope. I like to put images in the little windows, and I put a quote here. Every person needs to take a day away. A day in which one consciously separates the past from the future. A day in which no problems are confronted, no solutions searched for. So that was a quote that I liked. And I could tuck some little things in here, but I probably wouldn't go too crazy because I didn't reinforce this magazine page. Live your best life. And then I spray inked with some of my homemade sprays the security part of this envelope. Painty papers that I got in Happy Mail. I turned this into a tuck spot. This side, I like this black and white building, and this is an envelope that I made to put there. Another gessoed page. This here is like came from a magazine. I've had this for a long time in my stash. So it has some quotes and stuff on it, kind of like typography style. This here, I turned this into a tuck. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Lillian just brought me a rabbit. Thanks. The textbook itself had some nice poems in it, so I kept them. Like this one, Dreams by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if they die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when they go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. So I like that quote, so I kept it. I included some magazine pages. Some of them I was going to incorporate into the spine, either by sewing or washi tape. This page here I just glued down because underneath this is where I tested my pens on the gesso, so I couldn't really take that off. Another greeting card of the beach, my favorite place. And this is a picture of a couple of women in a field, which I thought was pretty neat. And a steamboat, which I also think is cool. Made myself a little flapper here with some cardboard. Here's the other side of that. Composition paper. Another book page. Another book page. Now we're on the back side of everything. Here's that envelope. I like it because it's got this little bread and tie ordeal going on. I thought it was pretty cool. This here is embossed cardstock that I did. Not cardstock, I'm sorry. This is cardboard from an ice cream box. Here's a nice little quote in here that from the book that I liked. Pursue your happiness. I made it a river of coffees that I had, an image I had for a long time. And that is my first signature. My second signature, this is an envelope that was in some Happy Mail. Another quote here. Some paths are meant to be followed, others are yet to be made. So I liked this rose with this bee, so I included that. Some practice paper for writing. This came out of an art book. This is homemade washi tape from Creative Trish, Patricia Beauchamp. And she made it out of paper tape from Dollar Tree, so needless to say, I picked up a couple rolls to do this myself. But I really liked some of the pictures in that Boston Art Museum book that I have. So here is some more of the pages. This here I made a tuck. Any blank pages, I tried to keep it as blank as possible so that I have plenty of writing space. Everybody has a story. This was ripped, so I put some matching washi tape on. It just so happens that I had washi tape that matched. This was junk mail I included. And I had this brush that created this really cool texture when you painted with it. Here is the envelope that came from Trish. I love, love, love whatever stamp she did. And I love the pinkishness in it. This is something I've had in my stash forever. And I turned that into a little flip. And this also has washi tape on the other side of it. And I like the envelope. It's nice and big. So I could put a lot of crap in there. This I was testing out. This is a tuck spot. And this is a journaling card that I made for the tuck spot. Or for a tuck spot. But I'll put this over here with my journaling cards. And another little pocket here. A pocket made out of some more of that embossed cardboard box that I had. I have two tucks there. I am what I make up. And this paper here that I love. Here's the other side of that junk mail. You can see a little better the brush strokes, which is just really cool in a circular motion. This page here, I was just experimenting. I did 2 tucks. I got one here and this one here, so that'll be fun. This is that paper that comes in Amazon packaging. Here is, I have a package of these greeting cards that have quotes. I only took out a few of them, you know, quotes that I felt pertain to my life right now. Your well of energy never dries up. The more you dip into it, the more you can draw out. So, here is the other side of that Boston Art Museum book. I gessoed the acknowledgments page, and some of these pictures are not tucks. This picture is not. It is a picture of a river, because I love rivers. I love water. Here is another tuck, and one, nope, this one was not a tuck. That is from Happy Mail. This is an envelope that came out of some Happy Mail that I had. Another greeting card. See, all blank inside. This is the back page of, this is from the textbook. It's a castle, but I put over it, life is full of difficult crossings. I felt it was fitting for this page. Our history is not the same old story. This was the inside cover of a book, so you know some inside covers have the first page stuck to it. Discover the freedom to have fun. I had this Phoenix guy. I've had him for a long time, so I turned him into a tuck. And I have a couple of little tucks on this page. Out of some magazine. All of this is magazine ephemera up to this point. Except this is packaging from washi tape. Simply wandering leads to whole new wonders. This image here came from magazines, and I feel like it's very fitting to the background color. I don't play tennis or anything, I just thought that that was fitting. The rest of that page is on a separate application. A little tuck spot here. I liked, my screen keeps going dark. I liked this page here. I like these little things, and I like the writing. And this is like somebody's invoice, you know, from a story in the book. And then on this side, you have these cool looking guys. This was, oh, thank you very much. Now I have a bear tea. This was the cover from a Bridge scoreboard notepad. That's what it says on the other side, but I liked this side, so I decided to cut it at the bottom. So that's all writing space there. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. Composition paper. Colors that pop give familiar shapes new life. Alright, I have this junk mail envelope that came from Arbor Day. So it was like torn a little bit at the top, so I just fixed it up with some washi tape, and it folds. It's trifold, so I figured when I get my sewing machine up, I would sew down the folds, and then I will have spots to tuck in folded papers. And on the back side, I put this Save Today, Explore Tomorrow picture because I love the sunset in that picture. It's hard to see on camera, but trust me, just trust me. It's nice. So a lot of these pages that were 8.5 by 11 that, you know, I can only use so much of the page in the signature. I made one side large and one side small so that I had more writing space. And on the small side, I could make these little, you know, flipper duties. I forget what you call them, but I call it a flipper duty. Field of Dreams, and then this here came from a magazine. I made this into a gigantic tuck. As you can see, I gessoed this after I put this piece on. And I have two tucks here. This is actually like some kind of algae, but I think the colors rushing looks so neat. And you have a nice flower that I made into a tuck up there. And just pages. A Sparklers package. Who can't go without a Sparklers package? This page here, it has a poem on it, but it is the whole reason I decided to use this book and decided to keep the pages for my journal, because I just love the page. I just love the little dots, you know, to create the images. I remember I was in 5th grade because I remember the art teacher that I had. He had us take autumn leaves and do that, and it was like the first time I ever really made art that I thought was beautiful. But we didn't do dots, we did little tiny circles, but this reminded me of that because it was like this style that we did it. So the back page is the rest of it, and it has swans. Let me see if I can bring this up close, and you can see what I mean about the little dots. So it reminded me of that, and you know, it just made me feel happy. Everything in this are all images that make me happy. I love thunderstorms. Here is another envelope I got in Happy Mail. I tried to use a lot of my Happy Mail stuff because Happy Mail makes you happy, right? A poem about the sea. This here is a band I made across the whole page for a tuck. Yellow paper, and then on this side I put, "This is how I live brightly." Yeah, bright yellow paper. Another little card. This is comes out of a National Geographic magazine. This is an envelope flap from this envelope. I didn't want to take away from the lightning picture, so I took the flap and made it into a little tuck. A little, oh, come on, focus, focus. A little tiger tuck. And I have a little quote, What is this life, if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. It's the little things. This is a little tuck I made in the corner here. Good. Composition paper. Flight of the Butterfly. I love this image here. I love the reflection of it in the water. I love all the little sticky things sticking out of the water. This image and all of the colors in it just make me very happy. This is another tuck. The choice is yours and it's simple. Yeah, it is simple. Love the crap out of this picture, right? I like this moon chart. It is like a medieval style moon chart. And you got these workers in the fields and guards carrying whips. So this didn't fit right on the page. So this comes out like so. This was a postcard. I have a bunch of ephemera that was between two women in my home state from the 60s and 70s. And one woman was Japanese and one woman was from the States. But at one point, somebody went to Europe, and there's a ton of European ephemera, including pictures and bill plays from, like, plays, you know, and menus and all kind. I got all kinds of stuff. And I got this giant stack, and it cost me $2 at a flea market. I was, like, so pumped, you know. Composition paper. Here's that other, I had a little bit of excess dictionary paper, so I just put that as an embellishment. None of this is really, truly embellished yet. I've been doing it in, like, I've been doing it a little differently than I normally make journals. I've been doing things in, like, full steps so I can get all the images put in at once, all the magazine stuff put in at once, all my tucks done, which I'm probably going to add more. Here is a tuck that I did. This is magazine paper, so I wanted to reinforce it. This here is another magazine image that was already pretty thick. It comes from National Geographic, who has pretty thick paper, so that is also a tuck spot. This came from scrapbook paper. That's a tuck spot. And bronzy, brassy looking turtles. Excuse me, you gotta love that. So that is my next signature. We have gone through 4 signatures. So, sig number 5. This is packaging from an embossing folder I got, and it had like Chinese and all kinds of funky writing on the back, so I gessoed it, but lightly, so you can still kind of see through it. Here is a tuck here. This is magazine paper. See, the things you can get out of magazines is like incredible. Tuck up here, even though I didn't reinforce this flower, it's just a little corner tuck, so you can't really stick a whole lot in there. This came from some advertising stuff that I had requested. I recently had an epiphany, and that epiphany was, put a tuck spot right here. This is a postcard that came from those two people. See, it's like got Japanese writing right here. And on those postcards, I ripped all the stance off. So that's why on the other page you see a corner's missing. But I still thought it looked cool, so I just ripped the other half of this off and kept it and turned it into a pocket. Little tuck right there. Another one of those cool envelopes with little stringy thingies. Above all, to thine own self be true. William Shakespeare, one of my favorites. Another card. Little corner tucky tuck. This was ripped. Throw some washi on it, right? Am I right? Greeting card. That's also a tuck spot. Put a little bit of that dictionary paper on it. This is a greeting card. It looks like Thomas Kincaid, but it's not. It's somebody else. It's Carr Wallant something, but it's blank. This was an image from the book. I thought it was cool, even though the people are kind of creepy, but I still put a tuck spot on it. Here's the other side of that envelope. This is packaging from some scented sachets I bought. So, make it into a tuck. And on the other side, I put this over the instructions. I kept little floweries, you know, and this up here, eco-friendly. And open it up. So, this was a little flower I had in my stash, and it just happens that the background paper on the flower matches the paper I put it on. I did not plan it. It just happened that way. It's just fate. This is from a paper pack I got. Cool Parrot. Turned it into a tuck. These are little embellishments I made myself out of scrapbook paper. And I turned every single one of them into a tuck around the whole page. This is a tuck all the way around. It's just got one little dot of glue on it. So, and this is a tuck on the side. I could just tuck things all over the place. And I put a quote on here. The mind that comes to rest is tended, in ways that it cannot intend, is born, preserved, and comprehended. Here is another one of those postcards. See what I mean? No corner. But it's from 1969. It's from Japan. And, you know, tuck spot. This is some of the paper I made out of my Serendipity scraps. And that's that signature. Last one. This cover comes from that book that I told you about, the Boston Art Museum. This is the cover. I was going to turn this into big pockets and sew, but I decided instead to make it journaling space. So I opened the flap up, and on one of them I put this little band, but I didn't do it on the other ones. The other ones are going to just be writing space. This little flower here is not a tuck, just a little flower that I think is pretty. Put a little butterfly on the corner because the colors in the butterfly match my splotchy, pretty paper that I made on accident, but love anyway. Another one of those envelopes. Here's a band I screwed up here because I double-sided taped it, and then when I, on the other side, and then when I pulled the tape, for some reason it affected the color of this. So, this is from a magazine. Look at this guy. Oh yeah, I love this guy. I like these trees too. I love the colors in these trees. This came from the book, the textbook. I don't know why I'm auto-focusing to death. Let's see if I can get it to stop. So it's still doing it. Let me see if I can get it to stop auto-focusing here. This is a greeting card that was given to me in Happy Mail, but I love the designs on both sides, so I decided to write in it also, and I'll just leave the name and stuff in there. Right? Right. That'd be fun. I'm still looking through my settings to turn off the autofocus, because that drives me nuts when I'm watching videos, so I can only imagine what it is. Ooh, autofocus off. Thank you very much. Okay. So, this page here, blank, it just says, Your Soul. And this is all homemade washi tape. I reinforce my spines of my pages when I pull out whole signatures. Painty papers. This is a gorgeous image I love. This is Happy Mail envelope. So that's that. Another poem. More of my dyed sheets. I made another little flipper doodle out here. This is a 2018 calendar from Arbor Day, and I put this junk mail envelope that I painted, and you can also tuck stuff underneath it. And you can put a whole page. I mean, look at all that space. You can tuck something huge under there. But, of course, I put a picture behind the thing, the window, and the inside is all cool looking. Alright, so that's the back of the envelope. You can also tuck something there. More of my Serendipity pages. Another pocket. Another pocket. I had these in my stash for a very long time. I went through a lot of my old stuff to use. Motherhood is what the page says, so I liked that page, so I decided to use it. Some of my own painting papers. This is like a joke, you know. It's not who you think, it's a lot smarter, and then it just happens to be an avocado wearing pants. But this is an envelope that I used, and I accidentally glued this. I was going to make this another little flipper doodle, but when I double-sided taped it, it just kind of went down, so I was stuck forever. This is just a piece of Galaxy. I didn't turn that into a tuck, but I did make a tuck on this side like this. Isn't that cute? Disco ball, another little corner tuck right here. This flips out again. Growing bolder, not older. And this is a tuck, and this I could work a little tuck there. This is a tuck. Nice picture here. Tuck and flower. Tuck, and there's the other side of that cover. And these are flowers that I'd gotten a long, long time ago. For some reason I had a picture of it and had the picture cut out and put into my stash. So those are all my signatures. This is a cover here. It's never been used. I will show you really quick my journaling cards and where I'm going to write. I made these ones, and I know a lot of you had seen this, so you can open these up. So I have this little collection here of painty paper journaling cards, which I can always, make more and add to the stash. They're all sticking together from the damn humidity. The paint just doesn't dry down here. Okay. Then I also have these these cards. Some of them are Christmas, which I'm going to put aside, because I do plan on using them, but Christmas time, let's be real here. Nobody wants a snowman in July, right? This was like a card that came in that book from the Boston Art Museum. I figured I could use that. I don't know if I'm going to use these yet. I'm debating, so I'm holding on to them. I might still turn them into tucks. This is from that bunch of ephemera I got between the two pen pals. For some reason there's an honor roll certificate in there. But I love it, and I love the writing on it, so I'm going to use it to journal on. This one has some sentimental attachment because it came from a business from my hometown that closed years ago, but President Kennedy had come to my hometown, and because of this business, the American Optical Company, and this is one of their receipts for their time cards. This came from more of the paper samples I requested. This is from the paper samples. That's the company I requested it from, Mingo. Right on the back of that. I have a bunch of these postcards that I can write on the back of. These two are images. I don't know if I'm going to just put them in there. This is from the Cape Cod, where it's my favorite place. It's got writing on the back of them, though, so I don't know if I'm going to use them as tucks or gesso and write on them, because I gessoed this one. I put a thin layer already. I'll probably do that and save them for my summertime cards. Packaging, write on it. So then I got creative this afternoon and decided to make a bunch of my own journaling cards out of pictures, right? And they're lost in my pile of stuff over here. Everything, again, to this side of my desk is a nightmare. Oh, no. I got them. So I took cardstock and just glued pictures. This one. I love that chair, right? These are pretty. Pretty candle. Squarbly derblies. Cute little teacups. And this is one that I haven't cut yet, but this is another one that I just did. And then I also glued some stuff. I have these statements. I have a ton of these from a knife company out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. And this is a picture I had for a long time. These are some more cards I made. These are all images that just really moved me, There's some more picture. I have part of this already in the journal, the tennis rackets picture. This comes from a helicopter flight log. I decided to keep. They're both stuck together. They're the last 2 pages, so I just kept them stuck together. Another statement page. It's got a Pier 1 ad on the back, but I love those chairs. This here has got a woman on it, you know, and I love that this message it sends about, you know, who you are on the inside, man. And this, I had double-sided taped it, and it stuck wrong, so I just cut it out. So the invoice is all crooked looking, but that's fine. These are a few extra pages I have, so when I get to the embellishing part, I'll just embellish these two and put them in with my cards. And I have some images that I'm still going to put on. You know, these I still have to glue to something, but, you know, they don't really go with pink. I mean, I guess this woman can go with pink, but she needs something else, just a little tiny piece, you know. So I love big wonky looking trees, so I took out a couple of my cutouts of those. You know, so I'm just really, I'm really going based on feel for what moves me. And, hey, Lil, come here. And these are things that move me. I have this paper, too, this pad that my mother gave me a long time ago. I'm going to put some of these pages in there. Here, go put this in with your Play-Doh. There's 2 pieces of Play-Doh. You got to put them away. So I'm going to use probably the rest of these pages. And a lot of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to washi tape them, you know, like to the top of the page, or I'll put them in the tucks. But, I mean, I'm going to fill this up. I'm going to end up having to redo the binding on this book because it's going to be way too big to fit in this book, you know. I don't know what I'm going to do for the cover yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave the picture or if I'm going to sand this down and decorate it. I'm leaning towards sanding it down, even though I like this picture. I don't know if I like it enough. You know, I just don't know. And then I have some things I'm going to stick to the inside covers. He's outside there. You know, so more to come with that, trying to determine if that's going to work out. I'm trying to think. I might have some more, you know, journaling card ideas, but I will in a minute, Lil. I'll be coming live again soon, and, you know, you guys can work through it with me, and you know, I'm just kind of going based on what feels right doing this journal. It's been a very spiritual experience. But I did get a lot of requests to see where I was with it, so that's what this video is for. And now you all know, and hopefully I can get live, you know, tomorrow, probably not Wednesday, we got an event, but before the end of the week, hopefully I can do a live and work on it with you guys. Alrighty? So thank you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any ideas. I love ideas. I love hearing what people do with their journals. And if you have any other videos that you think I might like that could help me, leave them below. All right? I love you all. Ta-ta.